Biggie died, Tupac died, and then there was the fight between who was the top rapper now, Nas and Jay-Z, and then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z.
I would definitely have to say those in power, that want to abuse it and get off on abusing it, definitely plot on their prey.
I think it's time for us to address the elephant in the room.
It was more friendship for me and money for him. But he did things that I thought he would never do.
You'd be surprised how people act when they think you're hurt. That's when they really start trying to make moves on you.
They say you have to be willing to make sacrifices to succeed in Hollywood. And Jay-Z took this statement literally. He threw everything at his dream, his friends, his family, and even his humanity. Forget the yachts, mansions, and fame. This is the raw truth of Jay-Z's success and the brutal sacrifices he made. Sean Corey Carter, aka Jay-Z, has cemented himself as one of the greatest rappers to ever live. His grass to grace story is one that so many people look up to and wish to recreate for themselves. From hawking on the streets of New York, Jay-Z became the first black male artist to have 10 multi-platinum selling albums. And while he was at it, he built a billion-dollar business empire. His portfolio includes Rockefeller Records, which he founded with Dame Dash and Kareem Burke and then sold. An art collection is valued at $70 million. And don't even get me started on his real estate investment portfolio, which is as impressive as they come. All of this and more contributed to making Jay-Z the first ever rap billionaire with a staggering net worth of over $2.5 billion. But at what cost? It's no secret that he was more than willing to get his hands dirty and stab a lot of backs on his way to the top. And one of the first people he betrayed was Big L, the very same man who discovered him. Lamont Coleman was one of the best freestyle rappers, if not the best freestyle rapper back in the 1990s, long before Jay-Z came into the picture. He gave anyone and everyone a run for their money, including Jay-Z, who couldn't beat him no matter how hard he tried. Although Big L was the one who showed Jay-Z the ropes of the game, the rivalry between both men was obvious for everyone to see. But Jay-Z didn't like that, especially because it seemed like he would never shine with Big L in the picture. Jay-Z was willing to do anything and everything to become number one, and apparently taking a life was also an option. Not too long after Jay-Z started making a name for himself in the rap game, Big L passed away. Although someone else took the fall for the unfortunate incident, a lot of people involved in the game believe Jay-Z was the one who set up Big L, all for his pursuit of fame.
Jay-Z was the last person to see Big L alive. See how good I keep secrets, Sean? And I'm gonna tell you something else, and I'll give you this one for free. Big L better than you do.
Big L wasn't the only one Jay-Z wanted out of the picture to shine. And once he was taken out of the picture, Jay-Z placed his eyes on his next biggest threat, DMX. To those of us outside, it may have seemed like both men had a healthy business competition, but to the people inside the game, they knew it was much more than that, especially on Jay-Z's end. And this became very obvious after Jay-Z became the president of Def Jam Records while DMX was still signed to the company. Apparently, Jay-Z saw this as the perfect time to get rid of DMX by sabotaging his career, and he was almost successful. But DMX saw his plans from a mile away and left the company before any real damage could be done to his career.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition, because at first you retire, then get me off the label. Now you're back rapping again.
Jay-Z's constant need to come out on top no matter what doesn't apply to musical competition only. It also applies to his friends. And one friend who suffered this the most was Dame Dash, who arguably made the biggest mistake of his life by trusting Jay-Z. But he learned quickly that there are some people you should never trust. After he got finessed out of the sale of the same company he and Jay-Z built together from scratch, Dame realized that Jay-Z was one of those people. I started putting together an army. Kanye, Cameron, Beanie, the Diplomats. I figured Jay gave me time to prepare. During a dinner at an upmarket New York restaurant, Dame said that they had a frank discussion about the future. Go ahead and take the money and the job, but don't take the name. Don't take Rockefeller with you, Dash recalls. I didn't say please, but I might as well have. Another friend Jay-Z stabbed in the back was Kanye West, and this particular betrayal was out of pure jealousy. Both men started to build a relationship after Kanye was hired as an in-house producer for Rockefeller Records. But Kanye did a lot more than just produce beats for Jay-Z. He also played a huge part in revitalizing Jay-Z's career, while struggling to build a career of his own in the background. This was strange because Kanye had access to one of the top people in the game, but still couldn't get anywhere. Well, it turns out that Jay-Z wasn't really much of a friend to begin with. And where Kanye saw nothing but love, Jay-Z saw competition that could do better than him. And if Dame Dash wasn't in the picture back then, Kanye would have never had the chance to build the career he has today. We all grew up street guys who had to do whatever we had to do to get by. Then there's Kanye, who to my knowledge has never hustled a day in his life. I didn't see how it could work. If Jay-Z could ruin people he called his friends, then you best believe he could ruin strangers and little kids too, just because he could. Yes, I'm talking about what he did to Jaguar, Foxy Brown, and Teairra Marí. All three ladies were apparently groomed by Jay-Z in the worst ways possible. And when he was done with them, he threw them aside like they were nothing. Jaguar revealed that she had met Jay-Z back when she was just 14 years old. According to her, she was introduced to him through Big L with the hopes that Jay-Z would help kickstart her rap career like Big L did his, and he did just that, but not before taking something from her in return. And the exact same thing applies to Foxy. Like that wasn't bad enough, he shut her up with money. There's been multiple sources seemingly confirming the underage relationship between Foxy Brown and Jay-Z. 50 Cent, Wendy Williams, and Dame Dash have either explicitly alluded to or outright confirmed relations between the two in the early to mid-90s, not to mention Foxy Brown herself. However, the most notable and public confirmation of this underage transgression on Jay's part comes from none other than Nas, and not in the last decade or decade previous. Nas relays exactly what everyone in the business had known out to the public in 2001 with his album Stillmatic on its single Ether. While the whole song targeted itself as a diss towards Jay-Z, it is the throwaway lines that captured our attention. Foxy got you hot because you kept your face in her What you think, you getting girls now because of your looks? Like other of Jay-Z's alleged grooming victims, Teairra Marí was promised a career in exchange for what Jay-Z had done to her.
Teairra Marí.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's the first lady of the rock?
She's the princess.
The princess.
Initially, this was what happened. And that's no way to treat a princess. Everything was going fine and good until Beyonce found out about the affair. And when she did, someone had to pay for it. And it wasn't Jay-Z. Tia took the fall for the whole thing, even though she was the victim here and was the person being groomed. She allegedly got blacklisted from the industry by Jay-Z for an entire decade. And when that time had passed, her career was never the same. Jay-Z's need to have whatever and whoever he wanted extended way beyond him going for minors. Apparently, he even went as far as threatening other female artists who refused to have an affair with him. And so Maya also became one of his victims. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, Maya's career was going a lot of places, and everyone believed that she was going to become the next big thing. But all her dreams came crashing down after singing the remake of her song Best of Me with Jay-Z, a decision that she'll probably regret for the rest of her life. Apparently, during the whole remake process, Jay-Z had made moves on her, but she refused them.
I would definitely have to say those in power, that want to abuse it and get off on abusing it, definitely plot on their prey, and you have to be willing to sacrifice anything that you think you might benefit from, a career, etc., and say no. Period. This is what I did. I said, no, I'm good, thank you. No, thank you.
And just like that, her career started to go downhill. First, it was a dispute with her record label, Interscope Records, and she had to leave because of it. Her fourth studio album was in the works during this time, but it ultimately got canceled. Not surprisingly, Maya was able to get another deal with Universal Motown Records, but things turned sour faster than she could settle in with the company. For some reason, the company had messed up the promotion of her fourth album, and before it could get released, it was leaked in Japan and eventually the rest of the world. From here, things only kept on getting worse for Maya, and just like that, her career never lived up to its full potential. Although she never called a specific name, everyone knew that Jay-Z was the one responsible for everything. This is crazy. Maya low-key said the same thing over a decade ago, but no one paid her any mind. I believe she was with Silk the Shocker then. Maya wouldn't be the last person Jay-Z prevented from living up to their full potential just because he wanted everyone to be scared of messing with him. I'm sure we all know about this whole R. Kelly and Diddy drama. While R. Kelly has successfully been put behind bars for good, Diddy's case is still a work in progress. But get this. Apparently, Jay-Z was some sort of an accomplice for both men, and this makes perfect sense considering how close all three of them were. He knew what both men were up to behind closed doors, ruining the lives of dozens of little girls, but yet he kept quiet like nothing happened. And doing this was just as bad as carrying out the crime himself. Although Jay-Z has refused to speak on both cases so he wouldn't draw any attention his way, Nas has alleged that he knew exactly what both men were doing, and he decided to do nothing about it. You can't tell me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come into the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. You gonna tell me he didn't see no 14-year-old girl come into the vicinity. But word around the street is that both men aren't going down without Jay-Z, and Diddy is the one plotting the whole thing since R. Kelly is behind bars now and can't do much. Apparently, Diddy is gearing up to expose Jay-Z for who he really is in exchange for his betrayal. Everyone who is anyone in the industry has gotten wind of this, including Jay-Z's own wife, Beyonce. Rumor has it that she's planning on leaving him before everything blows up in his face. But if we're being honest here, Beyonce leaving Jay-Z is something many people saw coming from a mile away. Looking at how their relationship started and how it's been over the years, it's obvious he doesn't care about her like she does him. But then again, what can you expect from a man who revealed that he's never loved anyone genuinely?
I love, you know, women I was with. I love things about them, you know what I'm saying? But I never been in love, because they say love is forever, and I never felt that forever type of thing. You know what I mean? I never been away from anyone and be like, can't wait to get back to them, and